something in there? Anything interesting about the screen? Anyone see anything interesting? No? Yeah? All right. We'll play it again. We'll slow it down though. Now it's amazing because I had my camera out there for literally no more than 10 seconds in that entire time I was there. I just quickly got it out just to take a quick snap, and that was it. And I believe that the Lord allowed me or impressed me to make that happen at that very moment. And the reason being is because Daniel said that when it came down to worship in these final days, that music was going to play a big role. And those that actually bow down will receive the mark. And the amazing thing is here we have all these youth that are caught up in this system that Aleister Crowley said he was going to create. All these youth caught up in this system and basically believing they're worshipping a God who is sitting on the throne. But unfortunately, they don't realize that Jesus has left that throne and gone into the most holies. So who is now pouring out that fire upon these kids? It's the devil, and he is the one who is giving them this fire. And I really feel sorry for a lot of these people because they are trapped in this system. And just talking to some of these people when I was there, so many of them didn't have an idea about what the Bible said. And just even relaying the simplest truths to them, many of them said, "Well, you have a point." And I just pray that one day God raises up people to reach all these people and an entire church like that is converted. Anyway. Ellen White in Selected Messages says, "Those things which have been in the past will be in the future. Satan will make music a snare by the way in which it is conducted. God calls upon his people who have the light before them in the word and in the testimonies to read and consider and take heed. Clear and definite instruction has been given in order that all may understand, but the itching desire to originate something new results in strange doctrine." Has God given us these answers in his word? Yes. And in the testimonies? Yes. Wolfgang Stefani says, "Could it be that by fostering a homogenized global music style, a style that is increasingly visible in the Christian music culture, the stage is set for a global religious identity response? A response that will allow people of all nations, all religious backgrounds to say, 'Yes, this is my music for being happy and religious, and I am part of it. I am right at home now.' Is this what we are seeing in our cultures, and especially our churches? Are we seeing this whole music agenda that was predicted to take place and that was planned back in the 60s, unfolding before our very eyes? Is music the means by which Satan is manipulating people to come together? It was in the Vatican II Council where it was stated that various things were discussed, and one of the topics that came up was how the papacy was going to unite the religions of the world through music. That's the thing. We are seeing these prophecies take place in front of our very eyes. And yet so many people in our church, and God bless them, because many of these people that I have met do not realize the music that they're listening to is right or wrong. They're ignorant of it. And it's just because no one has actually taken a stand or gone up to them and told them these things. And a lot of the times when I've actually spoken to them, they see the light straight away and instantly they change. And we need to warn, especially our young people, about these things. Because this whole agenda that was spoken, that would take place in Daniel and Revelation, that was spoken about, is taking place. And we must be getting close to these final events and to the close of probation. So what are we seeing in the world now? Jesus loves hip-hop. Why should the devil have all the good music? Suddenly the youth are rising up, and once again, just like God predicted that our youth would take the work back into their hands in their own days, those who are left in the throne room and whose prayers are being answered by Satan now have this false fire and this new music agenda that's been planned and placed on their hearts for decades. And now they are taking this music and it's become basically their identity. And the thing is, you don't have to go to church A or church B or C anymore. You can basically pick whatever religious church you want based on your music style. And we're seeing this whole, that Vatican II Council, everything they said that was going to take place, they're pulling in the reels now. And all of these things are coming true. Here's an example of a priest, a Catholic priest, who's taken up to rock guitaring. And they're starting to reach the youth through these methods. Here's a Hare Krishna, who's basically a rock star, and he's using music once again, the whole rock scene, to reach the kids. And that's the thing, it doesn't matter what you believe in anymore to these people, because as long as you have a music that brings unity, then you're okay. We can all come together and worship God. Now here are some groups, and I know that some of these groups people in our church listen to. And I'm going to tell you very shortly tips for choosing what kind of music, but Jars of Clay, for example, we've had them out to our big camps before. And they're supposed to be a Christian group, and here they are performing for Jesus in their boxer shorts. And there's a verse that says, "By their fruits you shall know them." Then there's other groups like DC Talk, which believe in rap or hip-hop kind of thing, that you can reach people in that kind of style. And then Michael W. Smith is another interesting character that many Adventists listen to, and he's got very nice sounding music. And I don't mean to say that you can't go out there and buy a CD, and if the music sounds nice and spiritual, that it's wrong to listen to it if they're not in our church. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying we need to be very careful in what we pick to listen to. Because Michael W. Smith, if you look at his music, in his albums, he writes in runic writing, which is an old, ancient form of occult writing. And something like that immediately sets off alarm bells in my head, that maybe we need to look into this guy a little bit deeper. And then you think, okay, maybe he's just doing it just for the sake of it. But then in some of his other albums, he actually poses in shapes which symbolize these same runic symbols. And all this stuff would make me want to question straight away, okay, whose spirit? Which spirit is really leading him? Is it Jesus Christ, who is in the Holy of Holies? Or is it the Spirit that is now sitting on the throne in the holy place? So you have to ask these questions, because music is an important issue in these days. Now here's a publication that we as a church produce. It's called The Edge Magazine. And I'm not attacking the producers or the makers of this magazine in any way at all, because I don't know them personally. But I do have an issue with some of the stuff they publish in this. But not just publish, they promote it. Here's an example of something they wrote. The band, which started in a garage in Mooloolaba, Queensland, and played one of its first gigs at the Woomba